They say memories fade with a time. But what if some memories aren't meant to fade? What if they're buried, deliberately erased, only to come back when it's far too late? I'm Detective Drayk, and tonight we're unraveling a case where the past refuses to stay dead. Stay sharp, because every clue we find will twist this case in ways you won't see coming. The crime scene. An abandoned mental asylum on the outskirts of the city, a place long forgotten. Except by one man, a former patient, Jonathan Greaves, found murdered in his own home. But his case file? It doesn't exist. It's like he was never there. The only thing we have is a single word, scratched onto the walls of his apartment. Remember. Now here's where things get weird. I dug into the asylum's history, and guess what? There was no record of a Jonathan Greaves. No patient, no employee, nothing. But there was a fire 20 years ago, one that killed nearly everyone inside. Only one survivor made it out, a doctor named Elliot Grayson, who disappeared shortly after. So what do you think? Could this be connected? Let's keep moving. I broke into the asylum, don't ask how, and the place is a maze of decay and shadows. The air is thick, like it's holding on to something. I moved down a corridor, my flashlight flickering, the walls covered in faded patient records. Except one, a single door, locked tight, with fresh scratch marks around the handle. Someone's been here recently. I pick the lock. The door creaks open. Inside, dust clings to every surface. A single chair sits in the center of the room, facing an old TV set, still plugged in. The screen flickers to life on its own, and then the footage plays. A man strapped to a chair, electrodes on his head, a doctor standing over him, asking the same question again and again. What do you remember? The man writhes, screams, and then I see his face, Jonathan Greaves. Except it's not just him. The camera pans slightly, and there, standing just beyond the doctor, is another patient. One with sunken eyes, his face gaunt, unblinking. He's staring straight at the camera. Then suddenly the footage cuts. Static fills the screen, and then I hear it. A whisper, right behind me. Do you remember now? I spin around. Nothing, just the empty room. But then I see it. On the chair, a single, yellowed file. My hands tremble as I pick it up. It's a patient record. For Elliot Grayson, the missing doctor. He wasn't a doctor at all. He was a patient. I flip the pages. More whispers fill the room, circling me. My breath catches in my throat as I read the last note in the file. Dr. Elliot Grayson successfully transferred his memories into patient number 46. If procedure is a success, number 46 will assume Grayson's identity. Patient number 46, Jonathan Greaves. The man who died wasn't Jonathan Greaves at all. He was Elliot Grayson, living in someone else's skin. The real Greaves? He was the whisper in my ear, the shadow in the footage, the one who never really left. And then the TV crackles back to life. The screen flickers, and there, staring back at me, is my own reflection. But it blinks, and I don't. So you see, this case wasn't simple. It wasn't just about solving a murder. It was about uncovering a truth that was never meant to be found. And now that I have, I don't think I'll ever forget.